The year 2055, an atomic bomb explodes over Los Angeles, killing millions, and the US government blames artificial intelligence, which has declared war on humanity. To avoid a repeat of the tragedy, the Western world bans everything related to robotics, but the republics of New Asia continue to produce dangerous machines. Also there, the technology is being developed, with which it becomes possible to put human intelligence into a robotic body. 10 years after the tragedy in Los Angeles, Joshua Taylor and his pregnant wife Maya are spending time at a cabin on the coast of New Asia when a group of robots led by Harun bring the US military officer who has been following them and informs him that they have been discovered by the US battle station Nomad, which will be here soon. While Maya packs her things, Joshua asks the prisoner to inform the Americans that the robot creator Nirmata is not here and demands an end to the operation. The wife, who has come in at the wrong time, learns that her husband is working undercover to help the secret services capture a prominent artificial intelligence designer. The woman flees with the security guards and androids. Joshua tries to catch up with her, but a nomadic strike follows and the boats are destroyed in a huge explosion. 5 years pass. Intelligence agencies continue to hunt for the mysterious Nirmata, and Joshua still suffers the loss of his beloved wife, forcing him to see a therapist. He works in Los Angeles as part of a robot disposal crew at a bomb blast site and believes they are just machines. Meanwhile, the US government finalizes Project Nomad, and now a huge space station, with all kinds of advanced weaponry, flies in the skies above the Earth, monitoring the slightest hint of the presence of terrorist robots in US-controlled territories and ensuring the safety of fighters fighting artificial intelligence in New Asia. And Joshua remembers living with Maya and telling her about the family that died in the bombing. It's also where he lost an arm and leg, which are replaced with prosthetics. One day, he is contacted by General Andrews and Colonel Howell, who try to recruit him to find and destroy a new weapon developed by Nirmata called Alpha O, which is capable of destroying Nomad, leading to the victory of artificial intelligence. Joshua has lost his wife and child, so he doesn't care about the death of humanity, but the military shows a video of a living Maya and offers to reunite him with her if he leads the military team into the lab, as only he knows how to find the entrance to the bunker. Joshua, finding no other way out, agrees. The group flies to New Asia, and on the way, Colonel Howell tells the man about the death of his sons in the war and promises that his wife will not be touched. Under the cover of a Nomad, the Americans' plane lands in New Asia, and Joshua leads the team to a place where a laboratory used to be, but now has a village built over it. The soldiers try to pry from the locals where the entrance is, and Joshua realizes that it was just buried and finds the entrance. The group successfully penetrates the compound where weapons are supposed to be stored, but the scientists manage to lower the protective glass, and while the Americans are trying to open it, they call the local police. The group has to take a defensive position, and Joshua is left alone in front of the door to the bunker. The code is triggered and the man goes inside and finds only a robotic child there. The girl is busy watching cartoons and is not at all frightened by the military man. But then a wounded female scientist walks inside and orders the girl to run and find Nirmata. The girl and Joshua get outside and see the military, who are hurriedly loaded into a helicopter because the Nomad is about to hit the lab. They pick up the last trooper, not noticing that there is a homing mine attached to his backpack. An explosion occurs, destroying the plane. The survivors are those who didn't make it aboard, and Nomad blows up the lab. In the morning, a man wakes up in a boat on the riverbank and sees the girl who found him. He tries to chase her away and rushes to the aid of his wounded comrade. After looking around, the military men realize that they won't be able to get out of the field, which is being actively searched by vehicles. Joshua drags the wounded man into the barn, where the girl silently comes in and sits down in front of the television. Joshua turns it off, but she turns it back on again with a flick of her hand. The military man realizes that the girl has the ability to remotely control technology. That's when Howell comes on the line. Joshua reports that the weapon has the appearance of a child, and the woman orders it destroyed since they have no way to get it into the US. She is surrounded and arrested by Asian police robots, and an android peasant enters the cabin, after looking at the girl, calls her a miracle and prepares to kill the Americans, but is killed by Joshua's bullet. A man's attention is drawn to a drawing of a girl. He shows her Maya's picture and realizes she knows her, but the policemen are close by. The man drags his wounded comrade into the car and orders the girl to get in too. The fugitives are saved by a dog, who picks up the grenade and carries it into the thick of the robot cops as the car drives away from their bullets. In the meantime, Howell and one of her soldiers break out of the custody and take the car. Meanwhile, Joshua's car stalls on the road. The second soldier, realizing that Joshua intends to search for his wife, orders his partner to turn back. But Joshua promises to take him to his former partner and friend who will help them get out, but the partner dies unexpectedly. Meanwhile, the family's pickup truck drives by and the driver kindly offers to help the couple get to town. Joshua gives the girl the name Alfie and they drive off. After a while, Howell finds the dead military man and, after writing the rest of his memory onto a chip, inserts it into the android. They learn that Joshua has gone to the capital with the girl. Meanwhile, the news reports the girl's abduction. At the entrance to the city, the military stops the pickup truck, but Alfie cuts all the power in the area and they drive off under bullets. They get into town and Joshua says they will go to the factory where his friend Drew works. Alfie wonders what heaven is like and wishes she could go there since she's not human. On the way, Joshua remembers how Drew showed him Maya, who the Secret Service thought was Nirmata's daughter, and gave him a tracker ring that they can use to track the woman. They soon meet up with Drew, and the latter, after examining Alfie, sends her and her friend to an upstairs apartment, while he informs her that the girl is capable of becoming the most powerful weapon on the planet, as her ability to control technology will grow with her. Joshua asks Drew to track Maya's tracker, and the latter, although not believing in the possibility of saving the woman, agrees. Meanwhile, the police find Alfie, attack Drew's apartment, and kill his girlfriend. The android is ready to take the girl, but Joshua arrives and destroys everyone. Maya's tracker leads them to the coast and the men suddenly realize they're going to the couple's former cabin. Joshua goes to search the house and finds only the ring. Here the group is attacked again and Drew is fatally wounded. Having managed to reveal that Maya is the Nirmata, Joshua is captured by troops under the command of Harun. There, Joshua remembers Maya telling him that Theo's father was a great designer, and after his death, she was adopted by the androids. Joshua and Alfie are taken to a coastal village, along the way stating that the tragedy in Los Angeles was due to a human coding error and that the US government is unfairly placing the blame on artificial intelligence, which only wants to exist peacefully with humanity. At this point, Nomad appears over the village, everyone is distracted by it, and Alfie releases Joshua, who hides under the bottom of the boat, from where he watches the aftermath of the American strike and hears the androids discussing the girl's ability to destroy Nomad if she gets on board. But Alfie herself won't survive then. Joshua finds the girl in the village and takes her to the boat. When Howell launches an attack, robots and humans take up defenses, but huge tanks move in and destroy the village. Alfie sees this and rushes to save his comrades. The tank is blown up, but it is still dangerous, because inside is Howell, who sends robots with explosives to the village. One reaches its target and explodes, while the other is stopped by Alfie, but she is shot. Joshua picks her up and carries her away. Alfie is rushed to Nirmata, who has been in a coma since the attack on her house. The girl was based on Joshua and Maya's unborn daughter, who was scanned in the womb. Soon Joshua and Alfie arrive at the convent where Maya is in the care of monks and androids. Since the robots can't harm Nirmata, she can't come back to life, but she can't die either. Alfie asks Joshua to help his mother leave, and in tears of grief he disconnects Maya from her life support machine. But then Howell arrives at the convent with her powers. She tries to scan the brain of the dead woman to get all her secrets, but is killed by Harun, who asks Joshua to destroy Nomad and save his tribesmen. The man and girl try to escape, but are captured by the Americans and taken to Los Angeles while Nomad destroys the monastery. General Andrews is convinced that it was Joshua who seized the weapon, following his orders, and so trusts him to kill Alfie with a special device. The man does this by whispering something to the girl before disabling her. He then takes the robot's body to a disposal facility, but in the meantime, the general learns that Joshua gave her the command to disable but not die. Joshua activates Alfie and they escape. They get to the spaceport and manage to fly out when Andrews orders all flights back, but Alfie takes over piloting and leads the plane to Nomad. Just as the general orders a large-scale attack on the remaining AI bases around the world. An evacuation signal sounds on the station while Joshua plants timed explosives and Alft cuts power to the ship, then runs to the luggage compartment carrying copies of Maya and drags her out into the garden, where he activates her with a memory chip downloaded while disconnecting her from life support. The missiles go to their targets as Joshua tries to reach the escape pod. Andrews activates a robot with tentacles that first grabs Alfie and then Joshua. The door to the capsule fails to open and Nomad begins to explode, so Joshua has to eject the capsule with only Alfie. Nomad continues to fall apart as Joshua sees Maya in the garden and hugs and kisses her one last time. Alfie lands safely in New Asia and sees its inhabitants celebrating the destruction of the station and the coming of peace. Very interesting though banal story, but the movie has a lot of features. For example, the graphics are of extremely high quality, and the plot, though banal, is completely original. Write in the comments what you think about it.